Hi, folks. Nick Tuckert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Before we get into the goodness, let's get into how we pay our bills. First off, if you check in the scroll beneath us, you'll find that we're made possible by my lovely Patreon members over at www.patreon.com/thehistoricalfencingguild. I'm also able to keep the lights on by selling copies of The Simple Sword and The Fighting Axe, both available through Patreon. Both available through Amazon, at www.amazon.com/author/Nicholas Tucker. We also have the Simple Spear, which I don't have a copy of. I'm waiting for my author copy to come rattling in. And I'm going to ask you guys to hit the like and the share for this video. This is not a normal format video. I'm really looking forward, but I won't wait till some folks get rolling in. We've had some good news in that I've been able to make some new purchases that I will be telling my Patreon folks about first. And I set up something really, really cool that the Patreon folks and then the folks who follow at the Historical Fencing Guild public group on Facebook get to know about, where we discuss things. Today's episode is a little different. Instead of my usual, we're going to talk about your techniques or new gear, we're going to play a little game. And that game is going to be called Swash or Passe, my version of Smash or Pass. Being, I have asked guild members, and I gave them sight to the I gave them the link to a secret Google Drive link where they sent images of swords. Now I'm going to be going through these swords and seeing, would I wield it? Would I not? I told them to have fun with this with the simple rules of nothing, no nudity, so depicted on the blade or anything too scantily in the wielder. And also no gore or anything. I want to keep this very much, our usual rating. So right now, the only person in is our beloved friend Cindy Cap. Hi, Cindy. I hope Stellari's doing well. I hope it works for you. She has a wonderful game on Kickstarter that's called Stellari, and it involves poker chips and gambling, and it's a lot of fun little game based out of her own books. And you can get that through the Kickstarter, where you'll also have access to digital copies of her books and the means to support Comics for Kids, which is a organization that takes especially independent comics and provides them for kids in long-term medical care and ERs and things like that to help it be better. So I'm really here to see that. Now, I think I set these to come up. The last that came in, it should work. Let's go through the comments. She says, "Don't forget to tip your host." Do I have that banner here? Yes, I do. PayPal.me/Nicholas Tuckert. If you want to just make a cheerful donation, you will be privately thanked via PayPal. Or again, just become a Patreon member or go on Amazon and buy one of my books. I keep things as cheap as I mechanically can through Amazon so that people can get into what we do cheaply and easily. And for the folks that may notice that my lighting is not as good as it has been in the past. I explained this on my other show, but I want to explain it here. I am having some eye troubles. And I'm planning to see the doctor about these eye troubles, but it means that the bright light shining on me causes me fairly significant pain. I've always had light sensitivity, and it's gotten a little worse. So, if I'm a little down or a little shrouded, I'm not trying to be mysterious. It's just a little less painful on my eyes. Glare is basically the bane of my existence. And I have had to switch to blue uh, tinted, blue light filter glasses, which don't block the overall light as much as my yellows did. So there's that too. Okay, so you know what, Cindy? I'll have to go through and see if you guys have wrenches on this channel. I may have to go through and wrench everybody on this channel so that they can comment if YouTube is being problematic. But off in the woods, howdy. Hiya, Ryan. It's been a while. It's great to hear from you. And go get Big Stompy Robots at the Game and Books. I appreciate that. Stellari is currently overfunded by 250. If I can hold or continue to gain for 2 more hours, then all wonderful. In our prayers, I hope everything works. Oh, and YT Nuki. Okay, we addressed that. I wear my sunglasses at night. If I'm fortunate, that might be the best of some of the outcomes I'm looking at. But not sure, so I'm not borrowing trouble. I was really hoping that Thesis and Foxy would be in the chat before we got into this. Oh, wait. Yes, they are. Thesis is here. He sent 5. Hi, Thesis. I'm going to assume Foxy is with you. And let's get this rolling. Now, what I did is I brought it up, and we have only the first one. Aside from this first one, and any I may have glanced briefly while opening it, I have... Yeah, we see Blade Thesis. Thank you. I have not looked at these. So, I want my honest reaction, to be fair for you guys and probably entertaining. I'm not sure how many there are, although I've been assured that there are a number worth talking about. So, let's get right into it if everybody's okay with that. We're going to drop into this. And this is our first victim. And yes, you can see some of the gobbledygook, but there's nothing there. Cindy found some peculiar ones. Okay. Now this is an LK Chen. I assume this came from Thesis because we've talked about this. This is an interesting weapon. The guard, assuming it's meant for right-handed wielding, curls behind the grip or left. It's really fascinating. Let me see. Let's zoom in because let's be honest. Will it let me zoom back out? No, it will not. It's being difficult. No, I don't need comments. We're not having technical difficulties at all today. Come on. There we are. There we are. Here we go. This is what it wants me to do. That is a really distinct guard. And it's better than no guard. And it's certainly better than a lot of the swords I've seen because I could make this go. I don't have a problem with it. I don't know if I'd like it because that's going to throw the balance a little weird. Woohoo, first one is mine. That's kind of different. Mutant Knuckle Guard? Yeah. And only one Quillian. The Quillian melds into the Knuckle Guard. So that might be that's why I was thinking it's the rear and coming around because that's still going to stop a chop. But it has a very experimental look, almost like somebody was trying to figure out how someone else's weapons worked with only seeing an artist rendering. So this is fascinating. Now, LK Chen is notorious for making very well-balanced weapons. So it's not something I would go for, but I would say Swash. I could fight with that. Let's see the next one. Okay. Now we're definitely in a comfortable zone. This is beautiful and tragic at the same time. Again, it's a very reasonable arming type sword. Yeah, we really, I'll go back to it, Ron. I've seen these in images, but I haven't seen them rotated around, so I'm going to have to play with it a bit. But to the best of my knowledge, the quillion, it comes across, hold on, because I have to go here for a moment. Okay, I need a sword. Okay. Grabbing whatever I have handy. So, if this were a straight quillion, it then, starting at the quillion here, facing me, by my understanding, assuming this is a right-handed grip, it then has a bar that bows out and then curls down and attaches. Oh, it sort of curls and teardrops into the hilt. So it would go like that. And that would effectively stop a chop to the hand. But a lot of the hand is forward of it. So like I said, it has that very distinct, very experimental feel, but I don't think it's one I would dig. But I need to handle it. So it's usable. It's not like the first thing I would go for, but it's definitely usable. What's the curly bit? The other quillion is under the guard, Cindy. Okay, didn't see that. See, this is one of those that makes us look. So let me bring that back up. That is a fascinating, and I'm just going to do this and do this and try and make it as big for you guys as I can. It won't let me zoom in any farther. Oh, no worries. No worries, hon. We're glad you're coming through the door. The curly one is a finger guard on the second one. I'm very interested. Yeah, I need to look at that. I'm excited to look at that. Both this one and the next one that we looked at and kind of came back from have that. They're almost there to me. They almost feel like a sword I would want to use. But yes, the black on black is there, and the quillion is in stealth mode. Yes, fast. I think this is a fascinating sword, but I can make that go. We can, if this one has enough interest, I'll see if I can find better pictures and we can talk about it more. Now this one, another that it's so close to being lovely. I mean, that's basically an arming sword. It's a Ribaldo. Okay. That takes me back. It is an arming sword. And it has a curl for a finger grip, which means looking at, it's a little hard to tell, but right here to here, where the marks are, imply that that part of the ricasso is a dull ricasso, which means that's not sharp. And yeah, that would give you a keyhole grip. Much okay. Hard to show with my beloved, but that would let you wrap your finger. Let me just go here for a second. That would let you wrap your finger. I want you to see, so I need something like aha. See the inside, and that lets you wrap your finger around and get a positive keyhole grip. So if I do this, maybe it's a little easier to see. There we are. Maybe. I'm trying. Anyway, now the problem is that's an exposed keyhole. So your finger is on top of the primary guard. It would give good control for the thrusts. And I can see it being involved, but that would get that pinch, and that is enough gap that I would be much happier if that were flipped, basically, and that form connected fully and gave a ring for a style of grip. I've seen some weapons like that. I'm thinking of acquiring some weapons like that. But all in all, the length isn't bad. I'd estimate that to be 36, 38, something like that. So it's not bad with the size of the pommel. I guess that the midpoint would be within the probably the line between the forte and the mezzo forte. So I'd say workable. I'll put that definitely in the cancel. Sorry, guys. Definitely in the swash. I could make that go. Let's see what else we have. Oh. Okay, that's a war gin. That's a two-handed war gin. Very ornate. I would hate to... sorry. Hold on. I hit the wrong button. Let you see. That's a beautiful two-handed war gin. I've handled things like that when I played with Sword Sage. It's an elegant piece. The balance on one of those. Wait. Sorry. Keyhole's pretty tight. Their historical. Where does that actually work? Maybe, but I agree. Going back for just a second for Ryan, that is a tight keyhole, and I have seen them, but the proportions bother me. So I'd be more likely to use it without using the keyhole grip. But yes, a very, very minimalist guard. It is a gin. It is meant to be incredibly aggressive. It's very doable. It's, I want to say, a fairly early period design before the guard started swelling to give better protection. It also has the capacity better to be wielded two-handed. So you have to think of the fighting style of this weapon almost more like a can't see. Wait, wonderful, interesting. Appears to be guard free. Yes, it's almost closer in spirit to a spear than a sword. It's going to cut, and yes, it has the capacity to be two-handed. So you can close up, and you're going to use very open. The other thing you have to remember is, okay, let me come back here for just a second. Okay, when we think of the point of pivot, and I need to hide this, and yes, it can be two-handed. The point of pivot is, and yes, it can be used one-handed. It gives you the option, though the length is going to counterbalance it. But in Western styles, the sword pivots at the wrist here. Now, in Eastern styles, more often, the pivot point is near here, so that there is a block incorporated. It's a different fluidity. It requires a much more supple wrist, but it works really neat. And thesis, that is a modified Han Jin. Han Dynasty Jin. There is a guard per se, but Chinese styles tend to focus on not being there during the strike, so the guard isn't for stopping one. I actually own that one. It is a beautiful weapon. I would not put it in the category of something I couldn't use, nor wouldn't, although I do prefer a slightly lighter feel. However, with that counterbalance, that's going to flow. That's going to cut real nice. And the idea is you're doing your defenses by avoiding. So, yeah. That's what I would have guessed, thesis. Cool. Okay. Let's see what's next on the pile. And we'll hide this and we'll bring it back up so I don't do... This is one thing I do want to put aside. This is absolutely beautiful work. The aesthetic is phenomenal. Even if I didn't choose to wield it, I would recognize it as an art piece. Let's see what we have here. My net sucks. Oh, okay. We have another lovely gin. Another lovely war gin. Looks like lacquered paint on the blade itself. And the minimalist guard might get a little slick. Oh, it's actually surprising. Oh, I figured it's light. The most of the gins tend to be, because they're fluid speed weapons, very dexterity based, not necessarily strength. For that, you want a Dow, which I actually have a good a secret love for. Copper? I don't think that's copper. There may be copper or gold inlay. I mean, certainly in the probably brass in the guard in that. Okay, there is. It appears to be string over the over wrap. So it looks like there's 2 layers of wrap here. My first concern was this might get slick, but if it's 2 kinds, it's distinct. The flat ending scabbards, because they're using a more of the weight in sword and handle and it being longer. A lot of these are still wielded one-handed, but it serves as a pommel. So the balance, because I've handled weapons like this, is superb. Oh, paint, yes. Again, because this is very similar to the previous, it's another beautiful weapon. I would hate, because if I used it, it would be dinged all to heck. So the black one is the lightest of my. Okay, of all the gin I have, that the black one is the lightest, except for my LK Chen Chu Jin. Okay, I know what you're talking about, and I apologize for any mispronunciations. I do. This is beautiful. Again, I'd swash, but I'd hate to, because this is another art piece. Let's see what we're getting into. Oh my. How just a little bit of change does a lot for my jam. That's just gorgeous. I'm a sucker for simplicity. And that is just a longer bladed, essentially, version of a single sword. It's basically a longer version of this right here, which allow me to unpiece tie it. Oh, that was a beautiful piece knot. I must have been demonstrating when I did that one. But I mean, this is the guard is almost the same length. And yes, the bevel on that blade, that looks like, is it hollow ground or is it? Oh no, it's got a double bevel. Oh, that's just gorgeous. I adore that weapon. That one that's like Swash +3, because I find it aesthetic and it's close to something I actually own. So, yes, definite Swash. This is a lovely. According to Chen, it's an actual period correct Hanjin. It's not stealing his sword, but it's another maker stealing his design. Gotcha. Does that make the edge more fragile? Um, Actually, I think, because that bevel, okay, that bevel speaks to the thickness overall of the weapon. Can I zoom in? Oh, good. So that is a relatively thick blade. What this actually tells me is, this is almost like an axe blade bevel. I mean, I don't even have anything offhand to show the severity, but that looks like maybe a 30-degree. So that's a very short bevel. So that's going to make a very uh, uh, it's going to be sturdier. It's less likely to break, but it's not as likely to cut as smoothly in. Let me just do this with this. Can I do this with this? Okay, yes. Because the narrower the bevel, the slicier the weapon is. So I don't have comparisons. I can maybe let me look at something. Yes, actually, I do have a comparison. I think. Now, okay, we have one of my Gilhibben throwers. This is a beautiful throwing knife. One of my favorites. Very wide bevel. Very. This is not going to slice. It's more about weight. This is much more like an axe, where when you look at the narrow cross section, let me get myself fully in charge for a moment. Okay. Can you see? That's hard to see because that's a fairly dark Damascus knife blade. Okay, well, then we'll use an older example. Well, shiner example. Boink. Do you see how thin the blade is and how wide proportionately that bevel just keeps going? Let me try and get it to the light. There we go. This is very slicey. It has a long, narrow wedge, so it has more push, so it will get easier to get deeper. But because of that, the metal is very, very thin, so it can be broken or chipped easier. This has a much wider, the thickness is wider, and the bevel is much more obtuse. It is not an acute, it's not a sharp bevel. And what that's going to do, and these are actually very close in bevel cross sections, so that's going to give you an edge, but make it much sturdier against repeated chopping because there's more metal proportionately. So that is, yeah, it's an 8-sided blade, octagonal grind. Yes. That makes it much less fragile in the blade, and you're right, it's more of a wacky weapon. Well, let's see. Let's look at the tip. Yeah, this is a weapon that is meant to go a long. This is a work weapon. Does that make sense? This is meant to do what it does and take a lot of punishment. This is ironically an antithesis of say most katana. It is not a fragile weapon. It is a very sturdy weapon. This smacks almost more of the German hunting swords that doubled as machetes. This is a solid tank. Absolutely would swash. I love that thing. And Slicier. Yeah, it's hard to explain, but when you cut something with a thicker cross section versus narrower, you can feel the cut, how slicey it is. Let's see what the next weapon is, because oh my. Oh my. Oh wait. Our good friend Sword Sage has a blade similar. His LKHN Flying Phoenix is the design. Yes, and I adore his Flying Phoenix. So yes, I love that blade. What? Oh, I did it again. I did it again. Hold on. Oh, we're getting much closer to my bailiwick now. This is a hand and a half, according to late 16th century hand and attack. This is almost. That's interesting. It's basically in the realm of an S-stock with a rapier grip. That is a beautiful aggressive basket hilt. I do love my cup hilts, but there's good hand protection and that's hand and a half. So that's going to let you the thing that speaks to me. Let's pull out the money maker here. Obviously, let's see, the length, hand and a half. Again, that might be 36, but look at that counterweight. That's going to be delightfully tippy. It's going to pull the weight back, and with all that guard, I bet the point of balance is, and my cancel my there we go. The point of balance on this guy is real close to the hill. So this is agile. It's going to be a bit heavier in raw dry weight, but this narrowing and then secondary flare mirrors this narrowing and secondary flare. So this isn't just a hand and a half by opinion. This is a hand and a half by effect. I like that, folks. It that's a hand and a half. It looks like a one-hander. The trick with it is that the pommel is so extended. The first and the painted one. Okay, let you guys decide. So which two I am looking at buying? I gave you the you have two war swords that look similar. So the one that looks like, I'm not sure. I'm in love with the last one, but that's because it's more my bailiwick. But this one, because what that's going to do is let you have your standard rapier blocks, and then you can incorporate the second hand. Okay, this is interesting. I think the worst thing about sabers and rapiers is they both took relevance away from longswords just as complex hilts started to take off. A point. And again, longswords were uh, still closer to weapons of war than rapiers were. But I see your point because I'm a guy who has been known to evolve my fighting style between a one and two handed grip, and this is the peak in my mind of what a longsword could be. It's beautiful. I need to feel it because the weight would be a bit of issue, and the grip is a bit large proportionately. But boy, that's nice. Um, I am intrigued with the groove right here, so let me look at that because I think this does indeed have a yes. It looks like it has a true edge and a false edge. So the back might actually be flat, at least till here. So the back 2/3 might not even be sharpened and that's just by the way the grooving hits. Well, exactly, Foxy. Foxy says most one-handed swords for me can be a hand and a half or two-handed because of my itty bitty hands. That's exactly this sword that I've got is very easily two-handed for me. It's a close two-handed, but is two-handed. This is barely a sword in my buddy John's hands because it's a um swords are proportionate to the wielder. But this is a fascinating weapon, and I agree. It does show the peak of what longswords could have and should have been. Even though I'm not a longsword guy, this does more to convert me. So, absolute swash. See what's next. Oh, hello. Again, absolutely. This is even more so. This is a longsword, but that rapier guarding, and with the way that pommel fits, it's just perfect for two-handed. I see that as a very elegant weapon. I have no problem with that. That's one of those that would wield itself mostly. Now, I don't think I would go for a keyhole grip with that, even though it's facilitated. But that is a lot. That's a decent amount of hand protection. So a lot of it would depend what kind of gloves you're wearing at the time. But even with like a mitten style gaunt, you could walk into that and catch the back and get all your Meyer happy wheeling. I also like the handle to blade proportion. Lots of leverage, very comfortable. Starts getting back towards the realm of the Nagamaki, which is something that makes me happy. So yeah. I might be able to hold that one. I would probably have to fake the dual Quillian grip I have with mine. Quite possibly. But yeah, this I really like that these include both the keyhole grip and the thumb rings that are common on sabers. Yet this is an evolution of what is working right now, and they're all together in one spot. Utterly delightful. Utterly, utterly delightful. Swash. I'm going to be revisiting some of these for art reference. This is just phenomenal. I'm intrigued because this. Let me see. Can I zoom in any further? These little 5 nubs. They almost look like they're meant to hold the gem or something. I'm intrigued by this design. There's a symbolism there, and this to me has that working real. This is a go weapon, but that's fascinating. So yes, let's see what's next. Oh, ha ha ha! Hello. Wow, is that a cutter? Wow, is that a cutter? We've got a Mangosh sail rig, a falchion style blade, uh, flared for days. If the weight isn't too bad, because that's a cutter. It will stab, but why? Wow. Wow. Wowie zowie. Okay, let's look at this. That is every breed of yeah, this slices dices make French fries and julienne. That is whew. I look at that dust guard. You can't even see the knuckle dusters as well because of this fan. As a guy who's nuts for hand protection and I need to see the back end, I'm just that's beautiful. That is a beautiful beastie. Like I said, it's a bit heavy, but it's also short. Okay, we got that. So that that might be 30 inches of blade. Probably closer to 26. That's that's infighting and ugly. That is, if I were doing a monster hunter who carried a pistol, because this is obviously late period, if not fantastic, that's gorgeous. Yeah, swash all day. That wants a buckler in the other hand. I love that. That's cake and ice cream, folks. Oh, and then I'm wounded. Oh, 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 oh no. Okay. Guys. Oh, guys. Oh, this is a bud case special, if that. This might be too janky for. Oh. That is the equivalent of seeing Kat Dennings and turning around to be face to face with Roseanne Barr. Oh my god. Okay. There is so much wrong with this sword. It looks like the typical paracord single piece of metal. All right, so next week, do you guys want to do cursed swords? If you want me to set up a cursed sword folder of this variety, I can set it up and you guys can just run amok and watch me hurt myself. Just swing the flat of the sword at their sword until you die or their sword gets stuck in that big hole in the. Yeah, oh, guys. And it really is the. Okay. Lengthwise, this might be a 20-inch blade. Maybe 24. Uh, you could fix this by filling all the holes and taking that bizarre spear. Maybe? Hold on. Someone else didn't. Oh, Lord. Let's do it. Okay, I'll set that up for you guys. Kit Raid, this is the design Kit Raid would turn down. It's trying to be, and you would catch. Okay, theoretically, I'm going to try to be nice about this. Theoretically, this could function if you filled in all the holes and you dragged these out and turned it into a Sting style Celtic leaf blade. But it looks like somebody took the outline of a fairly decent Celtic leaf blade and just they violated it. Oh. Someone needs to take this person's angle grinder away, all right? This has been bubbified. And that's what kills me about this. Like, okay. I'm downloading this image. And then I am going to we'll do a video, maybe not now, well, but oh god, man, I'm gonna need some like Gaviscon or something after this. But anyway, I'd repair what this could have been, because there's a not terrible little stamped out stock reduction sword here, but then they did this, and I could almost see this being better if you pulled the paracord off and used the holes that are holding the paracord in along with these to as tie down points, as a sort of spearhead. You could almost make that work. Let's see. Yes, sword breaker in theory, but I don't think there's enough sword there. Perforated. It's so bad that even Kit Ray wouldn't do it. That's bad. Yeah. Melt it down and reforge. And it kills me. It kills me because I can unstock reduction that, and it does turn out to be a marginally tolerable, a little Celtic leaf blade that for the $20 mark wouldn't be bad, but they violated it. And what's with this, like, oh no, let me see, can I zoom in? I can't. That is a zoomed in. Even my computer doesn't like looking at this. Fill in the holes. Okay, fill in the holes and fill in the teeth marks, maybe. Put this on a spear shaft and it might work. Yeah. Half-baked. Melt it down and reforge. Take the paracord off and use it as a half-baked edgy rope dart. Oh, get over here. Yeah, because that's just gonna, it's just, yep. Holy blade. That's an unholy blade. Whoever named that holy blade was wrong. It's an unholy blade. I recognize that style of make marker, and it's going to break here, here, and here, or here, here, and here, right up those. It's just going to snap because there's little tiny pieces of metal at stress points. This part's okay. But these rows, these holes here, and they had to bore that out. Oh, look at how they massacred my boy. Because that's what it is. I look at it and I can see Sting. Sting is one of my favorite swords. The modern Lord of the Rings Celtic leaf blade design of Sting is one of my favorite modern swords. Yes, it's trying to look like a skull on the end, and it's just, somewhere there's about a 15-year-old dude who is in love with this. Yeah, fantasy blades because they need magic to make it work for long. Oh, God. Okay, hold on. That's brutal. I love you guys. That is passe. Whip that thing, smelt it, turn it to dirt, break it off, and use it as a tent pole. I don't even want to look at that anymore. Okay. Now, let's come here. And let's see if we can't get a bit of a zoom. Oh, no. That rope darts are far better things than that. Now, what we have is a fantasy rapier by the kind of de-aliasing of this three-hander. I'm not even going to ponder why they call it a three-hander. But yes. They couldn't all be winners. No. And that's part of the fun of this. Needed a drink. Yeah, I definitely needed something after that. Okay. Taking these outer prongs off and stretching those out, you would have a fairly decent S stock. But yes, pointy pointy bits aimed at. This is something Kit Ray would wish they thought of, but it really has that taken out of a video game just by the rendering and lack of background. Yeah, this is pass, and it's tragic because it's only pass because of that stupid cross guard. And even if you flipped it upside down, because it kind of looks like a bat, if you flipped it upside down or you changed it, you would have to have another hand to hold it after the pointy guard wrecks the first one. If Thesis had let me know what you were doing, I would just share a pic of my rope dart so you could see what you thought of her. Well, you can send me a picture of your rope dart anytime you want, and I'll be happy to talk about it. But this one hurts not because it's bad, but because it's so close to being good. I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's for an alien race or fantasy race. But okay, it's got a reinforced spine, so it's very thrusty. If you fix this, it would be viable, but it's got these sharp, pointy things pointed at me, and I don't like that. So unfortunately, we're going to have to say pass. Yeah, take the blade off and put it on a different hilt. You have a winner. Whack the hilt with a hammer. Heck, Buzz saw it. Get the angle grinder from the last sword and just cut these chunks off as a gin almost, and it would work. Is that blade purple? Yes, it is. This is probably a video game weapon. But like I said, I like everything but this part. And if I could just get the outer spur off, even the forward spikes are kind of sexy, although that does put a lot of weakness right at the where the tang meets the blade. So that's exposed. I'm not overly fond of that. Yeah, it would have to be a bad rat tail. That's the other thing. I'm thinking if I were doing it, with that, how rigid that core line is. That looks like it has a rigid spine back, like some of the small swords of like right before World War One. You could have theoretically a diamond profiled tang where you would have that part solid tang, and there's only like wire wrap directly over the tang, and then a little bit of padding here. It has magic tang. Hi, some person. Hello, Nick. Yes, absolutely. Can I DM you a picture on Facebook and you can discuss? We can try. I couldn't be sure on color. This TV, which is my monitor, is old. The resolution. That's okay. It gets me because it's so close to being something I would like, but I have to pass because points at me are hard, and we'll go through minor balance issues. Okay, now this looks like a Elder Scrolls. I don't know if it's Skyrim though. I don't think it's Skyrim, but an Elder Scrolls glass weapon. So yes, very, very front heavy, but it's not going to wound you. So this is either Elder Scrolls or like World of Warcraft. This would be an let's see. Couldn't be sure on the color. This TV is my front heavy. Yes, definitely. Pretty on the wall. If I could drag and just narrow it, just foop, that wouldn't be too bad, and do the same thing for the crossguard, assuming whatever the material, this is obviously fantasy material, was sturdy. It's pass in that I wouldn't want to try to wield it, but I think it would be fixable. And while I'm not a big fan of this, especially at the key strike edge, I would rather have that smoothed out. But yes, So the last hand sword in the finger guard Italian. I can totally understand that. They're great, great weapons. Tonight is very chirpy. Oh, there's a flock of birds in your tree. How awesome. But this doesn't wound me. It's like, this is obviously a fantasy weapon. It's obviously far-fetched, and it's probably over-thickened to be easier to see on screen. And Cindy thinks your upcoming purchases are cool. Let's see what else we have. That's got... Oh. Okay. Now that I've gotten a little sick, this feels Kit Ray again, or knockoff Kit Ray, but that has that Kit Ray, that hilt especially screams Kit Ray. I can almost remember the Darkness dude. It might have someone hit you with it. LOL. Point. I could have told you, but it would have been cheating. It's an axe. It's a sword. It's a torso cutter. Again, thanks. It will take some time to get them, because I'm just a poor boy, or I'll get there. Hey, you got to have your dreams. Why put the bad in the middle? Again, I want to say that's Kit Ray. I think I've seen this piece before. I don't like the sharpened pommel because that's points toward it. Edge points towards me. I suppose if you're going to be really edgelord with this and reverse, Tonto wield it, you could almost make it go. This is another one where if you just angle ground this into a single smooth sort of scimitar-esque weapon, it could be. There's more thickness that the rendering doesn't quite show as well, but because the back blade is not quite coming up, but back blade. I would just take the Batman cross section out, bevel off that burr, just right across here and smooth it out. And it would be a decent falchion once you got rid of these sharp points pointed at you. But yeah, pass. Let's see what we got. I can only look at that one so long. Oh God, this thing. This is another Kit Ray special, or knockoff Kit Ray. Mutant Zweihander. Okay, I get what they were going for here. Okay. First off, the spur at the top, which is really hard for me to highlight, just needs to be cut off. That's nightmarish. You're just going to stab yourself. I see that going right in the top of a thigh on a set, just so that goes. This is meant to be a foregrip, or imply the possibility of a foregrip. Breakpoint near guard. Oh yes, breakpoint near guard. Excessive crossguard silliness. Okay, let's see. Let me see. I'm gonna be edgelordy with it, and you know what? You can pull it off, Johnny. Mutatable, right? And at least these have character. I can forgive the idiocy because these at least look like they would be on the wall of some dude who would describe his weapons as, pardon minor swearing, but bitching. Like, dude, it's freaking awesome. And I can see that next to a Slayer poster. I can see the intended audience and not be too mad about it. But that spike on the back and the downward spikes again, definitely not my jam. Definitely miss. Let's see. We got a comment done. I need so many edges. Yes, breakpoint. Sent me a picture on Facebook. I will try to get to that, but I don't. I'll have to get through all of these. If we get through all of these, then I'll bring it up, and we'll see. Facebook can be a little dodgy when I'm trying to stream, but butt spike no good. Hold on, I've got comment dump. Yay. The handle needs spikes pointing out. I can't have enough of those. Good for grip. Yeah. Right? How are you supposed to even wear these things? Not to, yeah, you can't. But that pommel, oh yeah, you could end somebody rightly with that pommel. That's an intercontinental ballistic needle pommel. And I agree. The potential forward grip seems too far to actually do much for blade length. I mean, like I said, they were playing. How about a 2x4 with nails sticking out everywhere? I'd rather have that than this thing. At least the nails would stop at a certain point, I would hope. Or I could just smack them with a hammer. However, this is an image I can hear. I can hear that tinny metal rattle because I'm honestly wondering if that spike isn't the tang and the pommel fell off. Because that spike is about as long as the tang on this thing, probably, if it's full tang, and probably the right diameter. So it's probably got a 3/8 of an inch, or quarter inch or less, 3/16 of an inch rat tail that's just spot welded right in the middle of whatever that pommel is. So it's it wounds me and everyone around it. And what's worse is, again, you know what I would do? I could fix the sword. I know how to fix the sword. Okay, you see that bottom grip right there? You go down to right above that idiot pommel and where those spikes are, and you angle grind that right off. Take this to a flat, flatten this down into a proper tang, slide on a guard, put on a grip, pin it in, and you have a reasonable sword. Let's see what else you guys have served me. Feeling blue, cha na 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 na. Well, okay. We've got another. This definitely screams World of Warcraft. It looks like it's Flamberge style blade. Blue, so, and probably translucent. Solved. I do like the criticism of these is just take the bad thing and make it a normal thing. Yeah, that's. I am a guy who is a confirmed scrounge. I've spent my life acquiring discarded things and making them work for me. I have no qualms with applying a hacksaw or a grinder or something. I've designed worse. We all have. Us artsy types have designed horrific weapons, and there are a couple fairly fantasy-ish weapons that I do like, but let's look at this. Where to start? Can we get a pommel, please? We're going to work our way up. Can we get a pommel, please? The blade is fantasy, but I mean, it would stab things. It's just kind of swirly blue, cultist of good. I don't know what all this is. But yeah, edge grind that into a straight edge so you actually can work it right. Put a pommel on it. If you love it, put a pommel on it for sake. Yeah, where's the spiky pommel? It's in the middle. It has a mini pommel. Yeah, wait. The morning star for the guard is, yeah, because any angle you make, those are going to bite at you. And imagine you're trying to carry that thing sheathed. You're going to be just slashing up here all the time. It has a mini pommel. It has a bump that identifies as a pommel. Yeah, where's that? Very stabby, not slashy. It would stab, and it does look like a Christmas ornament had a love affair with a jeweled cultist dagger. Oh, I totally forgot to submit the one from the newly discovered Meyer longsword illustrations. That's just a longsword where one of the quillions is a small axe. Okay. I can see that hanging by a tree. Yes, it looks like the skull grim. I know exactly the one you're talking about, into usable weapons. And again, you just squish it. You just the pommel. Oh. Okay, I think we've covered this one. Let me. Oh, Hold on. Everything went boink for a second. Yes, I managed to use nearly 4 gigs of my 15 gig. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. We're going to go back here, and we're going to go next. Yes. Okay. I can't attest to the blade. This looks very much. What I would say this is more likely is and I'm going to say the word Altham, a ritual dagger because of the crescent moon lunar looking guards. Let's see. Reminds you of Sky. Yes. That'd be a way to do it. Looks like a few people took up the slack sending ugly swords. It's appreciated, guys. We're having fun here. I can see the scorpion energy off of that. Horny sword. At least most of it, that pommel looks self-endangering. Again. But the nice thing about this one is that pommel, look at the way that's rigged. That screws on. I'm 100% sure that's a tapped-on pommel, so I could remove that and thread a ball bearing or get a knob from Menards and put it on there. Fit a jewel in that. Yeah, you could do something with it. And that's just bare bar stock. This is definitely a wall hanger. So it's a pass. I wouldn't, obviously I wouldn't want to swash a buckle with that. But I could pull that off the wall if I had to till I could get a better something. It's wieldable. It's just the pommel's a little self-injurious. Not terrible. And the quality is just junk. I can recognize it. I'd probably take it apart and save the wire pre-wrap grip to use on a different rig. I've done such before. The fuck? DAFUQ. The fuck? Okay. Yeah, that would work. Talk about the jewel. Yeah, bug vibes. What? Angry bug. Where's the grip? That's some Naruto stuff. Thought it was caltrops at first. See, now if you turned those rings bother me more than anything else. Because if you turn those rings it looks like one of them almost no, they're both flat. That looks like it wants to be a pole arm of some type. With a very specific intent. But like, you know what? That might be meant for shield grabbing. If that's a pole arm and those rings are somehow either, because it looks like this ring is off the is that way is flat to it. I'm literally having trouble parsing out what I'm looking at. If you turn the rings and put it on a stick, it might be the idea being you could hook a shield and poke somebody. But yeah, it looks like a Neko claw, but the big rings, they'd have to be for attachment. This looks like a piece of a gardening machine more than an actual weapon. It looks like a teenager. Let's see. Okay, let's go. Where's the grip? There's some Naruto stuff, and I want it. I can understand that. I thought it was caltrops at first. like a knuckle duster with spikes. How do you even hold that thing? Yeah, it's these rings that interest me because that's a lot of work to put those rings there. So I'm that's puzzling. Did somebody put a blade on their plow? It gets stuck in someone. Like I said, it almost looks like they were trying. Like I could see that on a stick where you hook the Wolverine claws into a shield or something to pull back and then spoke. A comb. It's a heck of a comb, not to be used as a back scratcher. Yeah, that just. Let's see. The rings of finger and pointy. Okay, yeah. So, and we might be getting thrown off by the scale. I see where you're going. So, if you use this like a, so it's upside down, okay, and your index finger and pinky go through those rings, and then it's just a dagger with the climby claw. Yeah, that's basically the only, and I was thinking about that. That's the only way to really wield it as like the climby slashy claw. So, oh, so it's hand sized. Yeah, it looks bigger than it is, I think. But the four blades would make the grip really dicey. I don't like it. Definite pass, and it just sort of Eastern. Yeah, I could make it go. I mean, if I were in a room and that was the only weapon, plates are on the wrong side of the claws. Like I said, I could make it go. And actually, that is theoretically safer than a lot of the Kit Ray style swords I've seen today. But yeah. Okay, let's keep going. That's interesting. Okay, now we're getting into some neat stuff because this is Africa. That looks like African. Okay, let me see how much zoom I can get. Let's go through the obvious. The dagger. Dagger is happy. This is a type of African spear axe. Kind of think of. Don't see wrist would fit in there. Point grip would have its claws pointed at you. It's supposed to be hand sized. Yeah. And that's one where the size of it was thrown off. This is is this an African throwing stick? This is very, very familiar. I've seen this. It's a throwing axe, basically. I can make it go. Flying off my hand. Hopefully one hits. What's the thing north center? The E-shaped thing is a type of throwing axe that's meant to have a spike hit anyway it's strung. It's a Hunga. Yeah, I've actually seen these things. And this is, I believe, an African type. It's an axe with a spear point. That looks like an armored coif. I'm not sure what that is, and it's too blurry for me really to understand with the ring and the edge. That could be something like a bowl making tool is actually what I would think that looks more like as. Yeah, they had this unforged in fire. That makes sense. The dagger's fine. These look like African weapons, and it looks like there's another spike of something, but it's getting caught up in my yeah. There's some kind of spike thing, sickle-like. God, piece adaptment. Yeah. Well, that's why. It's meant to be grabbed and chucked, the theory being it's going to stab into something, whatever hits. World's oldest Swiss knife. Okay, this is a Kopesh. Looks like a Kopesh. The angle of the grip means you're definitely planning to do your power strikes with the outside. Inside's going to work with the scythe. While a couple of I can make I can make all these go. So actually, all of these make the pass. These all are swash. I could use all these. I wouldn't choose to, with the exception of this thing, because I'm not 100% sure it's a weapon. But a Kopesh, absolute swash. I could make that go. I wouldn't choose to, but it's fights a lot like a sickle that's edged on the bottom. It's going to have an axis style strike. The grip is molded. No problem, assuming that's made of any quality. No problem whatsoever. Built-in U-turn. Yeah, that's a Khopesh. Is the curve one blade? I don't know. It honestly looks like this particular one isn't edged on either, but I believe it would be. So no problem there. oh yes, the steampunk chainsaw sword. First category, it's not going to hurt the wielder, and assuming the mechanism works, it's a lot of it would determine the weight. Now, if you took the gearing and the chainsaws off and just made it a big kind of butter knife cutlass, I'd wield it all day. But the teeth, because with the gears, I assume that those teeth are meant to rotate through. So yes, Khopesh sharpened on, sharpened on the inside. Yeah, I've seen that. Alligator, yes. Holy Metal Gear, Batman. Yeah, this is fun. It wouldn't hurt me. Now, if those teeth are just fixed, I could still make it go. So I would rather use something like that than most of the Kit Ray stuff. The teeth could catch and shoot out of the hand. It's actually early 2010s steampunk and the gears are glued on. Well, boy, makes me think of my man Bond's art, because the gearing isn't in a position to actually do anything. So what it looks like is they put a lot of effort, because there's not even enough rotation. So I'm going to have to pass on that. But what's sad is, like, from here down, I like this part. Now, if it worked as a chainsaw sword, I'd have to try it. I mean, I'd have to pick it up. I've used chainsaws, though, and they bite and they pull out of the hand. They're really not fun when you think of them for combat, because the chain is always trying to slip out. But yeah, I'm going to pass that. Okay. All righty. And we're back in the realm of World of Warcraft. Let's see. I'm hoping you guys can still see me. I got a weird notice that I was offline for some reason. But if not, I'll keep going because this is recorded. Yeah, this is going to catch. It looks like a can opener and a bump, but it's less dangerous than some of the others. It's fixable, but I'm going to pass on that one. It's just kind of weird and notched. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. Notch part can catch a blade, maybe. Yeah, it looks like it's going to break itself in half. This has, again, that World of Warcraft proportion. Excessive thickness, little tiny stick of a tang grip. Thank you. I was worried about that. And it's just awful. So pass. Just go past that. Oh, wow, that's a flamberge. I got no problem with that. That is a historical design. I could make that go. It's not my bread and butter, but you ask a Lance Connect, and they'll get us hard on for that all day and all week. And yeah, the last one was a Mutant Club. But I think the belief was that the sawing effort would cause more damage. Instead of a single smooth wound, it would give a raggedy tearing wound when it got through to the flesh. And yeah, it is. It's probably 5 feet long. And honestly, I have no problem with it. It is what it is. It's not one of my favorites, but I could make it go. It's a historical weapon. Yeah, because it does have a grip beyond the handguard. That's a secondary guard. This is when you want your longest longsword to be the longest. That's what it is. The belief that the waves make it look cool. That's why it's called the flamberge. It's literally a flame blade. It is a powerful, formidable weapon when wielded, because look at the leverage. You're getting essentially a full staff grip on a sword with the guards, if you're strong enough and big enough. And yeah, that's a good point. Ryan says, from experience, the flame blade makes bind and wind against it a lot more difficult. Yeah. And yeah, theoretically, I hate to call it half sorting because it's designed, but yes, absolutely. This is a very specialized heavy weapon. But yeah, no, the Swiss, the Germans, your Landsknecht, mercenaries, really, because that's going to make the catch and what he's talking about, wind and bind, the sweep, and it catches and pulls it off a lot harder. That's interesting. Thank you, Ryan, for watching, because this is historical. I have no problem with this. Could I make it go? Yeah, it's not going to hurt me, and it certainly would deter people. Great length. Not a bad zombie one, because it would it has that integrated secondary, so it'd be hard for them to get to you. No problem with that. Flamberges are cool. Not my jam, but I see the coolness. Oh, Lord. Look at what they did. Look at what they massacred my boy. Hold on. Okay. Aimed, please. I'm laughing at giant. When you put your hand down on the blade, similar like the claymores, half sortings when you move your hand up the blade, shortens the length, gives you better control. Also about me tall. Gotcha. Thanks. Yep. Only you can prevent the bubbling of a fine weapon. Look at how they massacred my boy here. Look at what they did. They took a beautiful oh God. That looks like it could have had what is horse guard? Oh God. My sword has run away in fear. Hold on. That's going to have a grip much like this. Good protection. It's a good length for a short sword, long dagger kind of scenario. But then some foul creature just hacked it. And I don't think this is I think they took a historical recreation, and some moron with an angle grinder hacked this poor child to death. This is criminal. This is yeah, that hold on. Let me somebody took bites out of that one. Saw moths. Yeah. With a normal straight blade, you could easily bind and catch rotating the flat their blade, but with the waves, it's harder to when you're flat, the waves can still catch you. That is style versus style techniques where it doesn't make sense against its own fighting style. Nom nom blades. Oh God. That is a hanger after the big battle. That's homework of a blacksmith who had to make a sword breaker and procrastinated to it. Oh, they massacred my boy. Look at what they did to the sword. I would have taken. Oh, look. If you have a sword like what this was before someone vilified it, and you're looking to do this, Talk to me first. We'll work out a deal to adopt it. We'll give it a good home. No one deserves this kind of cruelty. That's just, yeah, I'm gonna need something. Looks like some Victorian era BS. It does. Looks like a sword breaker made by an apprentice who waited till the night was due. No, you didn't break me, but you damaged me. That is the essence of close enough. Oh, God. Oh. That is some Kyber Pass level sword stuff. And if you know what I said, you know what I mean. Oh my God. And they did something to the tip too. You see that point there and these grinds? I am truly, truly hoping that this is a bad Photoshop. And somebody just did that Photoshopping. But that weird stabby point on the end that doesn't match, it looks like they broke the tip off and flat ground it or something. This hurts my soul, friends. This is what the Victorians did to history. And yet it's still better than most of the swords. It just, maybe it's a key that looks like a sword. No, maybe I can't even pass or smash. I have to walk away from this one. I have to pass because it's so criminal. Because it's so close. All they had to do, why? Why did they do that? Good Lord. Okay. There are a couple possibilities here. I'm sword belt. Okay, there are flexible swords. There are extremely flexible swords. I can't remember what they're called, but they're literally considered sword whips, and they go up to like 5 that people will fight with. Insanely dangerous. But look at the edge. There is no viable edge, and there's this crusting on it. So I'm really confused at what's going on here. This looks like something somebody made. Okay. Dang you Victorians, you tear down my sword. Next week, our assignment will be even worse. We have our assignment, folks. Find the worst things possible. I don't want that. Arumi, yes. No, you don't use lead to make a sword, you idiot. But I don't see a viable edge on this. So this looks, Ivy Valentine's sword whip, completely functional and safe to the user. And you're right. I was talking about Arumi's. Thank you, Thesis. This is a prop or something else that somebody made, probably of the wrong metal. This looks like it's in a warehouse thing. Yeah, Oh, bye, Ryan. You have a good one. We'll see you next week. The worst things possible, I'm gonna make them. Oh Lord. See you next week. Pocket sword. This is just no. Johnny could draw them too, but he can make them. Johnny has more talents than people know. Pass. Oh, what's this? Hey, hi. I don't know if this was intended, but Condemned Courier, that looks like a cup hilt rapier. I have no problem with this all day. That's fine. Oh, ring, another scaling problem. No. Judging by the size of the tag, by it, and just the glass thickness, I don't think that's a ring. Yep. Oh, that's delightful. I think that might be the last one in the collection. So that looks wonderful. I can't ever talk down a nice cup hilt sword. I do prefer protruding quillions, but that is fun, Cindy. I've fought many times with weapons very much like that. About a 40-inch blade that looks like an old Schlager from Triplet Competition Arms. If I were to guess a lot of the inspiration, that's a nice fictional blade and a balm to my soul. Now, give me a second, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to see if I can find Kitty's rope dart. Oh God, there's still more words here. We'll see if I can pull this off. We'll just go enter. And Facebook from Meta. It may not. Oh, I froze up. Okay, sorry if I froze. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Every time I check something on Facebook, it's crashing. So, Kitty Lee sent a photo. And there's a new animated trailer from Frog G I have to check out. Oh, I've got all sorts of good things. But let's see if we can get this. And we're going to go. How are we going to do this? Let's go here. Oh. Give me just a second to try and fix this because I had to get off the net. Open that up. We're getting there. It's really cool, and thank you. It was freezing up for me. I understand that. That is quillions are challenging to do. We'll go here, so I have that much room. Come here. Go share. Share screen. Window. Boom. Share. Okay, cool. Let's see this and ignore the projects and stuff down at the bottom. That's irrelevant. This is Kitty's rope dart, and that is absolutely beautiful. Now, this is very much a weapon for someone who has been trained. This is not a practice toy. This is a very serious, very dangerous martial arts weapon. That being said, I am a sucker for a matte finish on a work weapon, and the gradient from the matte finish to the mirrored is just exquisite. That looks like a good rope that you're using. Looks like an all cotton rope, but between the rings and the just the spearhead design, that's beautiful, Kitty. That is a beautiful, beautiful weapon. I mean, this is aesthetically pleasing to me. This I would definitely swash. I'm not good with rope dart, but that's what those. If I had that, I'd probably have to train to try to be good at rope dart. I'd smack myself upside the head. Yes, this is in the very specific training thing. Same Cindy. Watching her go with it is something else. I try and stay out of the way. And maybe we can do a review of her stuff. I don't know if Kitty's still on, but look up Nero's Red Queen when you get time. The Hills is a motorcycle throttle that makes the blade hot every time you rev it up. Wouldn't ruin the heat treatment. Get over here. Yeah, exactly. But that is a beautiful, beautiful weapon, and I have no problem with it whatsoever. No, with the no, his. Oh, geez, come on! You talked rope dart with us. Okay, folks. So, I'll show you something else. This is the cover for the Simple Spear. If you didn't get to see it, yes, it's simple. Yes, it's greeting. This is the art I used. I wanted to keep it simple and welcoming. So you guys get to see that behind the scenes. And you know what? Here's me doing some lighting tests. Here's me goofing around with the dragon. And this, what is this? Could I be working on a project where I would need something like this? Yes, there's some great stuff coming down the pipe, but we'll put that all away now. Get the screen big, stretch out for myself. There we go. I really love it. I that's elegant. Looks nice. Dragon, yes. And remember, you guys can find all my art at deviantart.com/NickT for anyone who wants to see it. We've gone over an hour and a half, had a lot of fun. I guess it'll be the Cursed Sword review. I'll set up the folder when I get off of here. Thank you guys for a diverting evening. Some of it was torturous, and I'm certain next week will be even more so. But thank you. I really needed that. It's been a trying day, and I've got a lot on my plate I'm nervous about. So thank you very much. Until I see you guys next time, keep your guard up, do your drills, be kind to each other, and be kind to yourselves and each other. And thank you for supporting your local swordmaster. I will set up a folder and I will put it up like I did this last one on the Historical Fencing Guild public Facebook group. And if you need it, message me and we'll get that going. Thanks for hosting the adventure. No problem. We'll torture you anytime. Anyway, that was Thesis's idea. I have a regular rope dart. Doesn't have a blade to it. I want something a bit more bladed. I understand a lot of rope darts look like plumb bobs, but that's elegant and refined, and it was a good idea. It's beautiful, assuming it's aerodynamically sound. So we'll talk more about that next week. I will see you all very soon. And I forgot, if you want to throw some money my way to thank me, feel free to hit me at paypal.me/NicholasTockert or join the Historical Fencing Guild Patreon. If you want my books on techniques and other stuff, you can hit me up there on Amazon.com/author/NicholasTockert. That's me. I will be right back here for people who are interested in this sort of thing at 8 o'clock next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I am the host of Never Mind the Furthermore, where we talk about authors and creatives supporting each other and accountability and good stuff there. And I promote a lot of great people on my other network, the Nicholas Tockert channel. And I am on Nerd Bacon on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern on Nerd Bacon with Luke Stone on LukeStoneStudios.com. So that's where you guys can find me. We got a couple comments still rattling while I tried to get my stuff out. 26 minutes to go. Go. And if you guys haven't looked into Stellarii, it's a neat game. If you have the funds, I heartily encourage you to purchase it. I don't believe Cindy would lead us wrong. And if not, share it around. She could use the promotion. I will see you guys all very soon. I need to get that folder made before I check it out. So next week, Cursed Sword memes and images. Same rules, no nudity, no gore. See you then. Heaven help us all.